Hello YouTube. Well, I'm back in the barn today working on the 170. Non-farm related stuff has been taking up a lot of my time in the last month, but I should be able to get back to my normal routine from here on out the rest of the winter. I was able to sneak down here for a couple hours one day last week. I think it was the week before last. And I pulled the differential out of the rear end and took the brake bands out. I wanted to get a look at that. The bearings look okay in that, which I'm glad. And I'm going to put new seals in there. Basically, every seal I can get at, I'm going to replace in this thing. It's 55 years old, so the seals, any seal I can get at probably needs replacement anyway. I did order a few parts. I've got a new brake drum here to replace this one that's bad. I've got a new friction plate to put on the one final drive where the old one is bad. I've got some brake linings, but my focus for today is to get this back casting off and get the transmission apart so I can order my plethora of new parts that I'm going to be needing. Now, according to my trusty I&T shop manual, the only thing I need to do now to get ready to split it right here, I need to pull the shift lever and the rod and shift fork out from there. So I need to take that cover off, reach in there and loosen the rod, take this lever off and take the half moon keys out and slide the rod out. So I'm going to get busy at that right now. Okay, I've got this out. Now, the I&T manual seems to imply that there's a set screw on this. In mine, there is not. That is not what I found. For mine, to remove this, all I did was there's a big set screw on the lever. I took the lever off. There's a snap ring on the other side. I took the snap ring off, and I did take some sandpaper and clean the sand off, the paint off that end with a sandpaper. Then I just slid it sideways, slid it out of here, and reached in and grabbed these Woodruff keys, and it slid out, and that dropped down, and that was all there was to it. Again, I don't know why the IT manual says there is a set screw, but that is not the case for what I found. So take that for what it's worth. All right, I've got my cherry picker fastened pretty securely to the casting there. I've taken the blocks out from under the back. I've got it blocked up there under the torque tube just for the heck of it. I've also got my splitting stands there. So I think I'm ready to unbolt this thing and try and slide it back. right, I've got the transmission and rear housing here out, blocked on the ground, and it's extremely stable. I need to take the power director off. There's just a couple of snap rings and that comes off. And then we start looking further at the carnage here. And you know, it's a crying shame because this all is not, has nothing to do with normal wear or faulty parts. This is, what's here is 100% bad operator. Basically, it needs all the gears. This third, fourth gear here, you can see it's all wiped out. The reverse gear down there is wiped out. The where the collars slide onto, and all of the gears here are all just battered to pieces. So I know I'm going to need all the gears. What I don't know yet is what kind of shape the collars and the bushings are in, or the front and rear bearings here, or the counter shaft. So that's what I need to find out when I tear this thing apart this afternoon. But it's about 1 o'clock now, so I'm going to go ahead and have some lunch, sit down for a while, and then I'll come back and take this thing further apart, see what we got. I got the power divider off. You just right in here, you take that snap ring out and that spacer, and then these two little cogs come out, and then the washer there, and then this snap ring is way in there, and I did find this one to be a little bit of a bugger, but I got it eventually. All right, I've got the input shaft out, and to do that, we just take this front little casting off, and the seal is shot. The bearing doesn't feel too bad. It feels smooth, fairly tight, so I'll investigate further, but I think I might be able to reuse this front bearing. Otherwise, the gear here, you can see where the coupler engages, just all beat to pieces. So anyway, I will now there's some bolts I have to take out back there. If you can see them there, I need to take those out and start working that shaft, the other main shaft, which actually is the front end of the pinion. Start working that back and taking this stuff off one piece at a time. And of course, I'm going to lay it out here on my table all in order, so hopefully don't get too confused. Okay, I've got the bolts and retainer off of the pinion in there. Now I've got a snap ring right here that I need to take off. Then I can pull this collar off, and then I should be able to just drive the whole shaft back out the back end, removing gears and other paraphernalia as I go. So that's the plan. All right, I got a hunk of white oak 2x4. The thought being the white oak is hard enough to drive this out, but soft enough not to hurt it. So we'll see how well it wants to cooperate. And it is moving. Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, and here we have a Allis Chalmers 170 transmission. So, let's see. This this collar is good. The little bushing in here is good, and I did not lose the 4 little pins that go in these bushings. The little pins are right in there, inside this bushing, for safekeeping. But see, this is good. This bushing is good. This bushing is good. This collar is good. This is junk. This is junk. This is junk. This is junk. This is junk, and this is junk. And in case you're wondering what makes these things jump out of gear, you can see the where the coupling engages the gears. The coupling slides back and forth on this collar. The collar engages the shaft. The coupling slides back and forth, and you see these are all rounded off there, and on the coupling, these are all rounded off. And what happens is when they get rounded off, there's no more square surface for them to catch on. It's both surfaces are beveled, so when you either apply power one way or the other, instead of holding there, because they're beveled, they'll just they'll slip off because there's nothing square to hold on to. So and this is the sliding reverse gear. That's junk. The counter shaft, I don't know. This gear right here is kind of iffy. The bearings seem good, so I don't know. I'm undecided yet whether I'm going to change the counter shafts. Like I said, one good thing, these bearings, both front and rear bearings, seem good. This pilot bearing that goes in here, I'm going to put a new one in just for the sake of doing it anyway. So there we are. We're all apart. So now we start A, looking for parts, and B, cleaning things up. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. So I'll start doing those things, and we'll see you next time. Until then, have a good day.